are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be lethal to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
Greetings and welcome to Access Wealth Nation with Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, getting your checkup from the neck up on your financial future. And today, of course, is Thanksgiving Day. It's for our Thursday. So we don't just stop. It's a holiday, not a holla month. And I know many of you are out there enjoying your families because we've been on the lockdown due to COVID. And last year we had everything up in an uproar. And now we're back, not to normal yet, but we're getting there. At least it's a normalcy to be able to be with family and friends. And so, but I wanted to take this time out. I think it was a great opportunity to talk to you. And so the network allows me to get on and go live. So that being said, I have to give my plug is that this is a time when you need to become, especially now, financially literate. And so many people are not. They talk about financial literacy, but financial literacy begins with understanding how money works. I saw someone wrote a statement that financial literacy didn't have anything to do with the wealth gap. Well, yes, it does, because if you don't know any better, you won't do any better. And so you need to know some of the basics. And so I still give you the opportunity to get the How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker book by Tom Matthews and Steve Siebold. Of course, you just have to send me an email at anajenterprisesinc@gmail.com and let me know that you would like a book. Yes, we give it free 99. It's free. And you can buy it, though, on Amazon for $16.95. But if I can give you a financial lesson, if someone's willing to give you something, take it and use it. If you're not going to read it, don't ask for it. Some people say they really don't read. And this book is a very simple read. It takes all of about a whopping hour to read. And it took me an hour and 10 minutes because I read a little slower than other folks. I'm a mathematician. But I still say if you would like it, just send us an email at anajenterprisesinc@gmail.com and get busy. The new year is coming. Do you believe this? We're on the 25th of November. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to put your plans together so that you don't plan to fail. My office will provide you with a free financial analysis, a good snapshot of where you are and where you'd like to be. And that also does not cost anything other than the desire that you want to learn more and that you want to see where you're at. And there's no obligation, none whatsoever. I know that sounds strange, but I have learned in my really 44 years in dealing in finance that if I give people an opportunity to really understand where they're at and where they need to go, then that may give them an opportunity to make a change in their life. And sometimes you don't even know things are in that necessity or need to have the necessity to get some assistance. And so I tell you, go to Anaj Enterprises Inc. You can call my office 646-375-2121, and you have the opportunity to set an appointment. And my staff will definitely, if it's not me direct, you will have some very well and equipped people who can assist you in putting your plan together. Like I said, you need to plan so to see where you are, to know where you are going to go. And I know some of us don't want to tell where we're at because we may be embarrassed by it or confused, not knowing. Well, if 4 million people have left their jobs this year because of all the confusion with COVID and all the confusion taking place in job and work areas and decided to become self-employed. Don't you think that they should get some help, or we all should be able to help each other to get back on the track? Because one thing for sure is that the world of finance is changing, and above all, the world of taxation is changing. We will probably in our next few shows go over some of the tax changes that are taking place, but we no longer can wait for our government to provide for us. We have to provide for ourselves, and we have to give ourselves a financial education. So that being said, hello, we are in the holiday period. And Thanksgiving usually is the time that opens the door. Well, it's been doing it before then, and they've got the nerve. I don't know why they call it a Black Friday. I guess might be because they think that we just as a people in a community need to buy. We don't need to do that. That's one of the biggest problems that we have out here is that we're taking our dollar and giving it away and not getting anything for it. And the first thing that we do is we start to look for and we groom our children to even start to ask for stuff, just because of the period, this time. And I remember many parents I've worked with, I've told them, I said, if you're dealing with Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever the situation, Kwanzaa, you're supposed to make the gifts. But anyway, during that time span, have the child pick one entity and take the rest of the money that you were going to spend and put it towards something, the child's future or your future, because that's something that we need to do. We need to be more, let's put it this way, must have a better relationship with our money, because if we have a better relationship with our money, we have a tendency not to give it away so easily. And that's what I'm going to talk about quickly today. We may have a partial show because of the holiday, but I needed to talk to you before the Black Friday really gets kicked off and you get out here and you spending all this money because you see deals, sales, getting stuff that you didn't even really need. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about right now is the whole element of cash flow, budget, getting a budget. Creating and sticking to a budget is one of the major things that will affect your income, and it's an income versus expenses. And guess what? Wants versus needs. See, we need to feed ourselves. I had a conversation with an interesting gentleman who gives toys away during the Christmas time. And I believe he's doing it like in December, the beginning of December. And he had a family, 7 families come to him and said, we appreciate the toys, but we really would appreciate some coats, pants, clothing, food. You see where we're at? That's where we're at right now. Oh, yes, by the way, if you have any questions or comments, if you're listening to us right now, please feel free to ask in the comments section. But these are the things that are so important at this point is that we're in some troubling times and we've got to make some hardcore decisions. And so one toy or making something together, I love to say this because it's a reality. If we think back to last Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa or the year before, most of us can't remember what we got, but we do remember who we were with. That says a lot right there. No, we don't always know what we got because there's a lot of stuff with stuff. But how people made us feel, the hugs we got, the relationships that we established, that's what we remember. So that's very important in this day and age. But you definitely need to know the difference between your wants and your needs. You may want a 60-inch television or a 70-inch television. You could possibly do okay with the 32, but you want the 60 or 70-inch. You need to be able to feed your family. You need to be able to make a put a good warm coat on your body, and your children have food in their bellies, or you have food in your bellies. So the want versus the need, how do you deal with that? Well, a budget is necessary right now before you head out and start to buy things or to address sales, or do even worse, go online and start buying. Take time and put out your income, what you take home. Don't put what you make. What do you take home? Because that means the taxes, the federal, state, local tax, Medicaid, and FDIC, not FDIC. Listen to me, FICA, which is Social Security, health insurance. All those things come out. You should be putting money into your retirement plan. So all these things you have coming out of your check, and then you have what you really make, what you take home. You put that down. Now you have some things that you have to pay. What is it? You have your rent or your mortgage. You have insurances that have to be paid. You have food that has to be bought, transportation that has to be paid for. All that needs to go. And it can't keep it up here. That is the worst place. You don't keep it up here. You write it down because you need to really see it. Yeah, we know what we spend, but have you ever done the magic trick? Y'all want to know what the magic trick is? The magic trick is you take a $20 bill, you go to a store, you buy maybe something for $5, and then poof, the rest of the money goes away. Where did it go? And the reason that happens is that we have something called inflation and cost of things that we really don't necessarily need. If you think about it, and I remember I did this a long time ago, I vowed not to have buy lunch outside. I was going to bring my lunch to my office because I don't have a job, but I do have an office, and bring my lunch and not buy anything outside and save what I would have spent. And that was phenomenal. I don't ask you guys to do nothing that I don't do. And building your wealth is one of the things that we all have to do. So that's one thing, is to set up your budget. Okay, so I'm reading straight from the How Money Works book. So just to let you know, they give not only the problem, but they give you solutions to your problems. So next comes is developing a written game plan. That's where we come into play. You can give a call to Anaj Enterprises Inc. at Gmail, or to 646-375-2121 and get a game plan. You need to have that game plan. Then next we have is to raise your deductibles. Have you ever thought, on your car, your home insurance, the insurances that you pay, many people have, because the first thing an insurance company does is they give you the lowest deductible because we're like, okay, if something should happen, then you don't have to pay as much out. But that not always is the best thing for you. So there's a chance that you could increase it. Have your deductible at 1,000. How many times are you going to get into an accident? Be careful about these things. And so if you are a good driver, or nothing has happened to your home, I'm not saying get rid of your insurance, because you always need to have insurance. Do not do that. But you may be able to increase the deductible, which will lower your premium, the money that you pay on your insurance. If that's the case, then there's some extra money there for you that you can utilize and work with, just as a thought. And then reposition your money. We've talked about time and time again about the rule of 72. And in the rule of 72, it says that you have to take the interest rate that you're making on your savings account. Okay, I know some of y'all are screaming out there, it's point zero something. So let's say it's 0.05%. That's basically the national average right now. And if you take that number and divide it into 72, it will tell you how frequently your money will double. Isn't that great? Not when it's at 0.05. 0.05 will basically get you somewhere around $1,400. 1,400 years. So that means 1,400 years before your money doubles. Okay, let me lay it down real clear. You have $1 today, and in 1,400 years, you'll have $2. Now, if you're not jumping up, yelling and screaming, especially since the bank is taking your money and putting it into credit cards, house loans, car loans, and they're making anywhere in excess of 9 to 20%. Now, I'm not against banks. There's a reason for them and a place to use it. But the thing is that look at the difference. Now, for the 9%, every 7 years, that money is doubling, and yours is doubling every 1,400. Do y'all see a problem here? If you don't see it, then we need to really sit down. But that's another place to make a difference and to increase the money. Also is to drop what they call private mortgage insurance, this PMI. If you own a home and you look at your mortgage statement, if you are 20% of your home's value, if you have paid that up to 20% into your home's value, that PMI needs to go bye-bye. Okay. And the banks have a tendency to have amnesia and not realize that this has happened. So if that's the case, you need to take that time and talk to your mortgage company and say, well, I've paid in 20% of the value of my home, and I need you to remove this PMI. The private mortgage insurance protects the bank, not you. So a lot of people think, well, I'm paying mortgage insurance. Yeah, that's what you're paying. You're paying the bank for the bank just in case you die and they don't lose any money on your mortgage because you died. Okay? So just realize that these are things that you can do to make a difference. Also, let's think about something else that's really out here. It's called the gig economy. And I have been amazed at the different people who participate in the gig economy. Everything from watering people's plants to standing online for them, or staying on the phone to get a question answered. There's also dog walkers. Those are the little side things that you do to get to be able to have your extra money. And when you get the extra money, don't go and spend it all. Utilize it for savings and building and emergency funds. These are the things you should pay attention. That's getting that extra money. And there's things that we can do. Proofreaders. I know we all have spell check, but spell check doesn't really correct grammar. And so those are the things you can do on a side note to be able to take home a little bit more money. Also, I know it's very confusing. You need to talk to your accountant or financial advisor, but you can also alter your W 2 forms. We're approaching right now the world of taxes again. It just seemed like we just got out of it. The 20th was the last day that we could e-file, and now they're going back into the new tax system and the two next tax laws. We'll probably open up tax season in January, so it's right around the corner. But in saying that, the W-4 form, which allows you to change your allowances on your job so you can take home more money or take home less money. These are the adjustments you can make. But don't make those adjustments without talking to your accountant. There's a form called W-4. It's very complex. It used to be a very simple form. Now it's a lot complex. Yes, you can change it periodically. You can change it. You don't, if you do it where you have single one period of time, and then you do single two another, or single three, depending upon your deductions. I just warn you, if you are a person who gets anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 in a refund, a federal refund every year, think about that. That is either $400 or $800. If it's $10,000, $833 a month that you could have put into something else or made it grow for you or done more for you. So just think about that element. I know some people say that's the only way I know how to save. I got it. But maybe there's another way that you can do it. Maybe even to the extent of having a forced savings, that you have to, that they take the money out of your your bank account, not your bank account, your payroll, before you get a hold of it. Because to me, it's better in your hands than in Uncle Sam's. Your hands, you can take that money and possibly make more money with it. In Uncle Sam's hands, once they get the money, they will give it back to you in 12 months or a little bit over 12 months, but you get no interest, nothing for it. So you just letting someone hold your money and give it right back to you. Think about that. But then they target our communities. And by targeting our communities, what they do is that you see it in the Black and brown communities, talking about you got to get a big refund. Not only that, but you can get a refund anticipation loan. You can borrow your money when you could have gotten it all year long. Okay, there's a question. Is there anything we need to do before we go into the new year that would help us in 2022? Yes, sit down and have a financial needs analysis. You need to look at what your year looked like. Where are you standing right now? Where are you now? And where would you like to go as far as your finances are concerned? What's happening with your medical insurance? There's another place for a deductible. Um, are you getting ready to retire? How close are you to retire? These are all the questions you need to ask yourself, and preferably sit down with a financial advisor, someone you trust and understands your lifestyle, and sit down with them and go through what needs to be done for the year coming up. Because by December 31st, you will have a real good picture of what you've been doing and how it has been. And those of you, I have to say, if you're doing unemployment, please make sure you withhold the tax on it. And don't just say, oh, just withhold. You need to know the percentage that you need to withhold on that tax so that you don't wind up owing the following year. How do you do that? You sit with your accountant or your tax preparer and say, what tax bracket am I in? That's the bracket that you need to charge on your unemployment or anything that you're drawing income. Another red flag is that things get tight and we say, oh, we're going to take money out of our 401k plan, our retirement plans. That should be the very last place. The marshals should be knocking at your door if you're going to go and attack those accounts. So don't do that. Sit with someone, get the help. Don't let it be where it's a secret. How we go to the doctor. I love to liken the financial service industry to the medical field. Do not be in a position where you have this secret and you think it's going to go away. It's just like owing IRS. It's just like, not being able to pay certain bills. Get on the phone and talk to people. When you talk, there may be a solution. But if you don't talk, there may not be any type of solution. Okay. If someone already has a business and is planning on expanding or opening a new business, should they reincorporate or set up different business structure? That depends. That really depends on what their initial business structure is, or was, what they have. If they're expanding, they may want to connect the businesses. And again, please understand that if you have a LLC, a limited liability company, and you are one member, you are the same as a sole proprietorship. And you got a little protection on yourself, but not a lot. You need to sit with someone, a business analyst or an accountant or a financial planner, to say, this is where my business is. When you're expanding, that means things are going pretty good. So you need to really look at your financials to make sure you can sustain it. And then to see if you want to commingle, add together, just like a marriage. You got to figure out, is this going to work out? Why? By expanding, where do I go with this? And how can I expand and not jeopardize my first business? So you really have to spend some time with someone. Okay, if you feel like you want to save, but you don't have enough money to do so, what can you do? This is when the budget comes in. I don't care if you save $1. As I'm almost sure $1 to a donut, that you can save something. If you're, it may be that you take out, you feel like you want to save. So maybe not taking your lunch, as opposed to buying your lunch, which sometimes that can be anywhere from $5 to $10 a day. So there's a savings. $5 a day, that's almost what's that, like $150 a month that you can save. Think about it. Or sometimes we are not getting up for work in enough time, and we wind up taking cabs, Ubers, and stuff. Look at what you're doing. If you really want to save, you have to buckle down and take out the extras. And then again, like I just said, maybe depending upon what your taxes look like, you may be able to change the withholding on it so you get more money. That money you can save. Or it may be even to the extent that the deductibles on some of the things you have. Some people, they have also, I know the cost out here is astronomical. I have many clients who have storage units. If you haven't gone in that storage unit and utilized that stuff in the past 5 years, guess what? You need to go in there and clean that out. The same thing happens with your office space. I know I'm having that trouble with mine. Is that, you think you're going to use it one day. Get rid of stuff, declutter. And sometimes you can sell stuff on eBay. There's a few sites, but I'm thinking eBay and others that you can do concessions on. There are deductions that you can do so that you can free up some money. That's what it's all about. Because, there's an old saying, I owe, it's off to work I go. You want to be in a position of where that money is going somewhere to help you grow and save. So like I said, is even if it doesn't mean more than $5 or $10, even if that's a month, you're saving something. Isn't working with a financial advisor an option only if you're rich or have a lot of money? Not at all. If you want to work with a financial advisor, and there are some out here, grant you, I do know there are some out here that don't want to talk to anybody who doesn't have over $250,000 or not making $100,000. I know that. But if you get in touch with us, we can gear you towards individuals that will serve you. If you can save $10 or 10 million, doesn't matter. We're out here bringing financial literacy. And one you might want, instead of having a financial advisor, is maybe to sit with a financial educator who will do the same thing, educate, and then come up with a strategy for you. And then it's up to you to implement. Now, they will take you, most financial educators not only educate, but take you to the next level as implementation. Because I understand in our community, it's such a need for individuals to not only understand and know, is to do. And a lot of times we won't jump into that pool of doing. We'll know and we can talk a lot, but we need to do, and we don't need to make mistakes. And so moving towards your savings is never going to be a mistake, even if you put money in a cookie jar back in the days. We used to do that. But to do something, get active. The better part is when you have someone like a financial advisor or educator who will at least be there to walk you through. It's almost like a therapy session. And I've done that with clients where they've gotten to a certain point and they just can't seem to get it implemented. But they know they're going to see me in 6 months, so they get busy and work on it. So these are the things that we can help you with, and there are people out here who are financial educators who can help you get over that hump. So no, you do not have to have a fortune. As a matter of fact, most people who have fortunes have a bunch of financial advisors who are trying to get to them because they want the money. I like to look at the common person, the regular John Q. public, who needs the help. They're working on their retirement through their job. They're looking for people to give them some type of guidance and education. And a lot of things in the industry have stopped us from doing that. Okay, how much money should you spend on holiday shopping? Okay, I'm probably the worst person to ask that. But I believe that whatever, after you do that budget that I just talked about, whatever is left, after you've made sure that you've got all your bills paid, and if you haven't been putting anything aside, because I remember they used to have holiday accounts and you could put away as little as $5. But the thing is that how much should be, you should not more than, in my opinion, at least a quarter of 25% of what your take home salary is. But if you have not been saving, sometimes you got to get a little creative. What else can you do? I remember one of my family members, things were tight. And instead of giving, gifts, they gave of themselves. I can give you a couple of hours. I can help you clean your house, make up your bed. You don't want to get that personal. Maybe I can drive you around shopping, or I can go shopping for you. These things, like I said, if you think about it, those things mean more than the items. But there are some sales out here, but you should not spend so much. And so it really takes the time to sit with a financial advisor or an educator and say, okay, this is how much I have, and this is all that I can spend. So like before you go out tomorrow, okay, because some of you will be going out tomorrow, or you will be logging in on Monday. Before you start, put a budget together and say, okay, the most that I can spend on gifts for the holiday is $100. And now I got to find something enough for each. Maybe I can do $10 gifts. There are a lot of different things like that. But I think one of the wisest things is when you have someone who is willing to give you a gift of themselves. How powerful is that? I think that's exceedingly powerful. And I think that we should think a little different. That's what I thought was such a great idea about Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa was always either you made the gift or you did something special for that person that came from you, something that had a meaning, even if it meant that you went and read for them, read a book to them. I know some of this stuff sounds strange, but it's not. These are the things that that will help people, and it makes people endeared. Or the time that you spend, I think, which is so important, I just did this today, is to reach out to family members and just talk. and learn something about them and share a part of you with them. These things can make a true difference in your life. And there's, and especially with COVID, people aren't even still getting together on a constant basis. So, this is a way to bring ourselves together, and even tell the family stories. I took pride today talking to one of my cousins. She was trying to link one of our great aunts to another part of our family to find out that they weren't linked, that there's two sides. It was one from my grandmother's side and one from my grandfather's side. So, it's these are the things that are so important. Talking to our youngsters, having them put a face to a name and not just getting stuff. Again, I could possibly put the stores out of business because it's not a case of giving a bunch of stuff. It's about sharing a part of yourself. And so I said I was going to do a short show today because of the fact is it is a holiday, and tomorrow starts again another part of November and taking us into the Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa period. Just give some thought for the next few weeks, put away a little something. And I know children, they see things, they want things. You have to teach them about how money works. And the fact is that if you want to do something special, give them a little gift, a book, maybe a special toy, but then make sure you're putting some money away for them. The government is still paying out those child tax credits. I say put something away for the child's future that they can look. They may not understand it now, but they will appreciate it for real later on. So if you have any questions or comments and you'd like to share or like to hear something specific on this show, we're all about finance and getting your checkup from the neck up. Just send us an email at anajenterprisesinc@gmail.com. And if you'd like to get the book, How Money Works, I'm going to see if it's not going to be blurred. How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. Please feel free to reach out to us. And we will get that book out to you ASAP. I promise. We've been catching up with all the mailings. And also, if you want to give something to someone, especially a family, sit down with them and maybe tell them about our show and also about the free financial analysis, and that they can call and get it. See, we keep things to ourselves. We need to share. So I'll be glad to lend that out to you to be able to give. Isn't that an awesome gift to help change someone's life? So our show is ending a little early at this tonight. I'm thankful that you had a chance to listen. I appreciate your questions. I want to thank you for watching. And definitely every Thursday at 6 p.m., you will hear from Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse at Access Wealth Nation on the Soul City Broadcasting Network and also on WHCR 90.3 FM from City College. So you all have a peaceful, wonderful, and flourishing day today, and share with the family, share a good story with each other, and tell them how blessed they are and what they're thankful for. What are you thankful for? I'm thankful to all of you listening and sharing and supporting our show. And also those of you who we've been able to help. I am so thankful to you for you allowing us to come into your life. And so you all have a good night and be blessed.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be lethal to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She was magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is magic.